Thanks for tuning in to Busy Adults. In this episode, Ray and Drake talk to Monkey about their DM styles and how they set up their sessions, one-shots, and campaigns. Thanks for listening. Okay. Yeah.
Woo!
Okay, folks, it is another podcast of us busy adults.
Busy Adults.
Yeah!
I was gonna say
Busy!
we all sound
Yes.
tired.
And exhausted.
We are
Oh,
yellowish tonight, but we do have a good show still lined up with Ray, Monkey, and myself, Drake.
Polite
So-
golf clap.
Just an update from our last podcast.
Yeah.
I did not have the Rona. I had a severe case of the flu that ran through my fucking house, minus my wife.
Wow.
So, yay
Yep.
there.
COVID-related update in my house. Jenny has now gotten her second vaccine,
Nice.
and she is feeling the side effects.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
everyone
How
on their
bad?
second has said that they've felt
Yeah.
side effects.
Decently bad. Like, she went home from work because she couldn't really function very well.
Mhm.
She had a fever that she's broken a couple of times. Currently, I believe she is sleeping on the couch. So,
With Snuggle Buddy Roscoe. I saw her post a picture on Facebook.
yes.
with the Doge.
Yes.
I did see the Facebook post with the Doge.
Yeah, so yeah, she is definitely feeling it. I've heard from a couple of other people in healthcare that have gotten it. 16 hours seems to be about the mark the symptoms pop up in full force. And that's what happened with her too.
Yeah, I've heard that it's, just like a bad cold.
Yeah, that's really what it seems like is a bad cold. So a headache, just run down, exhausted, tired, can't really focus. If she moves too fast, she's a little like wheezy. Not like puke wheezy, but just lightheaded. So,
Aww.
yeah.
Well, best
Yep.
of luck to
Yeah.
Mrs. Monkey.
Yeah, she'll probably wake up in the morning and be like, "Wow, back to the grind."
Yeah, probably. So usually it takes like a day from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, she'll be good. So yeah, good times, good times. But to bring it back around, guys, tonight's podcast is how the DMs prepare for their campaigns. So not just the sessions, but the full-on campaigns. Like, do our two DMs that are currently present, do they do like every other session? Like, do they flesh out the whole story right then and there? Do they just build little pieces? What do you guys do?
Well, hold on. Before we go into this,
Oh,
let's
okay.
hear from the player of the group.
Oh.
Clearly you're not gonna get any campaigns
not
ready
much.
anytime soon. But what do you think, do you think is the most common for DMs? Like,
The most common, so I mean, I know a lot of like starter DMs will just go create the entire world and like every single plot they can think of, and like, this is how I want the story to go, and the players will derail that very quickly. Very quickly,
Mhm.
because that's what we're good at.
Yeah,
With more experienced DMs like you guys, I would think that you guys would kind of sprinkle a lot of things into the world. You would create the entire world, at least, the main plot points of it. But I believe you do small little things here and there, and then based on our actions, build upon it, and then by the end of the campaign, you actually have the full world created instead of right up front.
okay.
So yeah, that's my take. That's the player's take. I know, Drake, that your dark campaign, you've pretty much like built out the entire thing already.
I worked on the Dark campaign. I'm trying to remember. I think I gave myself like 3 or 4 months between our last, when we did our Pathfinder one to when we started Gekkeram.
Mhm.
So I started working on that, I think, with like 2-3 months. I think when I finally put the final, like, okay, people are going left and right, life is taking effect on all of us, so this campaign's going to wrap up. I think we wrapped it up on New Year's 2020. That's what happened. We wrapped up our campaign on 2019, and we finished it on 2020, and everything went to hell. We shouldn't have ended that campaign.
That's what.
World, we're sorry.
That's it. The butterfly effect. If we hadn't have ended our campaign, everything would have been fine.
I will say that it was still a pretty good ending. My character's the only one that died, and
that was
it worked
hilarious.
very
That was
well.
rough.
Because, like, okay, for all of you, like, let me just set the scene. Monkey's character died. It was a monk.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the Mercer rule for death, which, if you don't know, it's like, hey, you die, you have to roll, and with people helping you, I think I started off, like, with a DC 12, and with your monk in that, you needed to roll, like, higher than a 3. So, like, the percentage of you fucking that roll up was so goddamn low.
Yep.
Especially with the monk and it's a wisdom save. I'm like, there's no fucking way. It's not gonna happen. Because, yeah, you had a 15% chance of fucking that up. And you rolled like a 2. And we all just kind of stopped and went, huh.
Cool.
So
The
that just
exact
happened.
number you needed to die. That was...
like, wow. You needed to not roll a 1, 2, or 3, and you rolled the smack dab middle one. Huh.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
devastating.
But it worked. It worked.
Was.
So I was like, okay, cool. But no, I started fleshing out Gekkeram like in October of 2019. Like, I had the idea. Let's do this. And it really wasn't supposed to be like a dark campaign. I was like, I'm just going to run a campaign. I want it to be kind of open worldish. So let's start on this like big island, do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I want factions. Like, I want there to be different factions that are kind of aligned, but very loosely. And they're pretty much always in each other's throat. And then I saw a meme of Curse of Strahd, where it's like Zelda players starting, or what happens if Link was in Strahd. And it's literally showing Link running around, and he's like, oh boy, a skeleton! And he goes to attack it, and like 3 more pop up and just like turn him into a fucking shish kebab. And he's like, oh god, why? And they're like, literally what happens to newbies playing Strahd.
Yeah.
And
I'm excited.
I was like, that's dark. I want this to be a dark campaign all of a sudden. So I fleshed it out there. I will say, when it comes to me personally, I kind of do, I would say, weird, because I don't see a lot of people on forums or anything that actually like build this way. I build a campaign, and I know how it's going to end. Straight up. This is the big bet. This is the BBEG. This is going to be the final fight. This is what I want. This is how the campaign will end. And I'll have usually 3 different types of endings. I will have a quote-unquote good ending where the party defeats. I will have the ending where everything goes fucking sideways and the party fails. And I'll have somewhere in between. Perfect example. Our first session that I ran, or our first campaign that I ran, that we like had 8 players, and then we lost like 3 of them.
Yep.
And things went
and I'm
sideways.
sure some of you are listening right now. Yeah.
Call out.
You guys, you know who you are.
Yeah. The dirty Frenchman.
I was going to actually call him out, but
I didn't call out name, I just called him out on his fucking, thing.
he knows who that is. He knows. 2 moons!
God damn the 2 moons. All right.
Oh, fuck, we lost 4 players on that session. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I forgot.
A lot of them.
So we lost 4 players. And I just... The reason I built that campaign, and I've talked about it before, that was going to be... I'm glad it failed, because that was a dark campaign. And as it was going to go on, I really worry that would have destroyed, like, my wife, Monkey's wife.
Me, honestly.
I think it would have
at the
destroyed
time,
you too,
for
because... And I also... Monkey, it might have even destroyed you and Yaka too, because I've talked about
I'm pretty
it before.
heartless. I don't know.
I don't think it would have destroyed you, but I think it would have, like... I worry because I've seen people who've ran sessions and read about it, and they say it is really hard to keep your players motivated because you have 3 options. You can either save the castle, just as an example, like save the city, save the farm, or go out and beat the big bads that are assaulting. And whichever one of those 3 you would have chose, congrats, you would have succeeded, but there would have been consequences like, oh, you saved the city. Cool, those people are safe, blah, blah, blah. But the farming community that fed that city got completely destroyed, so now there's lack of food.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was always going to be a campaign where your good ended, like I had, but it wasn't going to be, like, good. It was going to be like, hey, you won, you defeated the Lich,
You won at a cost.
You won at a great cost. Like, yeah, you don't have to worry about now people that are dying coming back up and joining the Deads of the Unranks, but it's come at a cost.
Yep.
I ended that campaign when I killed all of you. It's like, oh, hey, you're level, like, I think you were, like, 6 or 7, maybe.
Yeah.
It was low.
Yeah, it was
like,
Pathfinder 2, by the way.
Yeah, it was Pathfinder 1, version 1. I was like, yeah, you guys come across I think it was a greater...
It was
a
dragon.
it
was a lightning dragon.
I can't remember what. It was definitely something that was, like, double
Oh, yeah.
your level, and you
Yeah.
had, you guys had to basically roll at 19 or 20 to hit. I'm just like...
Yep, and my badass monk is just like, I'm just gonna jump in his face and pop it! And I did pop it, and it did, like, 1 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, worth it.
And then when that happened, I was like, yeah, you guys all died. The undead rose. They destroyed most of the world.
Yep.
And the only reason
we were trying to find goblins at first, like this goblin
That's
gang.
how it started, yeah.
Yeah, and then we got to, like, this lich place, and then there was paladins that came and, like, just destroyed the entire area. Like, yeah, this is a cleansing, guys. Done.
Yeah, basically I brought in fucking space marines, but made
Yes.
them paladins.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Like, magically enhanced. Like, I literally was like,
Yep.
oh, hey.
Do you guys know what space marines are?
I love 40K. So I'm going to incorporate that into Pathfinder by, like, hey, these are paladins that they go through, they take them in a young age, they break them mentally and literally physically and use magic to repair them and infuse them, and if they make it through the process, they become, like, perfectly statted, all stats are 20, just beasts.
Yeah.
And I just remember everyone's like, dear fucking God.
Yeah, and Yaka wanted to fuck with him. As he does.
That's his entire every character is
that really
every
is.
character he makes wants to be fucking with somebody all the time.
The only one so far that hasn't is his wizard in Gekkeram.
That's because his wizard has like 4 hit points.
and he's like 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But, no, I mean, it's, like, I always start with the ending. Like, I know, like, hey, this is how it's going to work. I think the last campaign, I had a couple towns. Like, I had a basic map, had a couple towns. Yeah. And as it goes on, I flesh it out there. This campaign with Gekkeram, and I opened it up like a week or so ago and was just like looking at it, trying to refresh my mind and be like, okay, this is this. Worked on it a little bit. Really tempted to just say fuck it. I know the wife's not a fan of Discord and all that, but I want to play. I want to DM. It is what it is. Like, do theater of the mind. Hopefully by middle summer, end of summer, we can all get the vaccine and get back to in-person gaming.
Hopefully,
that'd be nice.
Yeah. It would. I miss it. I miss just being around people. That's not the same 2 coworkers every fucking day.
Like, I miss being around people, but after everything, I'm like, I can't be the same. I don't know how it feels looking at the bottom half of somebody's face. Like, like,
Yeah.
please don't stand 2 feet away from me. I will back up. Like, you're in my space, dude. Just please don't.
Yeah, and I hate stores even more now than I did before.
Well, I hate stores now because you always get those like handful of people that are like, my rights. Be like,
oh yeah,
dude,
there's that.
you wouldn't know science if it came up and ass fucked you. Like, honestly.
Nope. You just think it's his sister.
Gross.
But yeah, I mean I start like with Gekkeram. I started with the end and made a couple things, and then I actually did something I really don't do. I kind like when it comes to history and lore, I kind of like will do like a little bit and like very little. Like here's the story, here's what's causing it. That's it. Like this, I went like, like, whoa.
Yeah, you had a full-on pantheon of the gods.
Yeah, I don't do that. I normally do like, oh yeah, pick whatever god you want. This one, I'm like, nope, you're gonna follow one of these gods. Yeah. Here we go. Like, yeah, Gekkeram. Like I said, I started 2 months before our previous campaign ended, and fucking like had that shit locked like 4 months before we even started. And I think we only like I have notes for I think like 4 or 5 sessions.
Yeah, it's not much.
Because I know we were playing, and I think like the last 2 sessions of Gekkeram, it would be like you and your wife would go quiet, and it's like, the babies? And it's like, nope, sorry,
Nope.
we had to take care of the dog, or you know, had to go to the bathroom or something crazy like that. It's
Yeah,
like,
usually
okay.
it's the dog.
Yeah, I mean that's how I do. I normally start with the ending, be like, okay, this is do a start point. And as things go, I flesh out the world. And I feel it's easier that way because I know, like, some people I'll read be like, oh my god, like, I did a whole world and this, that, and the other. And then they get, like, super pissed because players will player and completely be like, oh, this is what I want, train wreck.
Yep. And it's bound to happen.
Right. And this way I can be like, okay, really don't care because I still have my ending.
Yeah.
So that's what I want.
Yeah. Yep, and we'll get there eventually.
Right.
So, yeah, as a player, like, I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, you wanted us to go in a cave to try and save this dude's girlfriend.
Yep.
But after seeing, like, oh, he died. They fucked us up. I almost killed Yaka's character quite a bit. And, let's just get the F out, guys. And you're like, seriously, you're just gonna leave?
Yeah.
Yep. So it's like, okay. So that just kind of wrote in a little piece of us getting dicked over because anything that we do in this is going to have an like a reaction.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
world.
Absolutely. And you know what?
Yeah, you've already told us.
It's a little bit fun that way.
It is.
It is. It's like, okay, cool. Like, I was actually impressed because I know we've had sessions before, like, the town that y'all tried to be like sneaky and get everyone out.
Yeah.
And everyone rolled like a 2 on their stealth, and it's like, oh my god.
I did fantastic, I just want to say. For being a bird, scouting and everything, I did pretty damn good.
Yeah, but it just went like the bad rolls started happening, and it was just like, okay.
Little Timmy got his head bit off.
No, little Timmy got his throat ripped open, died, and then like 3
Came
rounds
back.
later came back and scared the fuck out of everyone.
Hooray!
Like, wait, that just happened?
Wait a minute,
Like,
he's alive?
Cool, I get to
God.
kill
Surprise,
a
motherfuckers,
child.
it's dark.
Basically, that's how it goes.
But yeah, I mean, that's the way it works. At least for me. Ray, how do you do?
So, I would say that I actually do pretty similar. For the campaign that y'all are in for Erlen right now, I have a pretty good idea of the ending. Like, I know big bad guys. I know what their plans are. This is no spoiler because y'all are in the campaign. You already know. Like, there are people in very high power that are running these plans, and yeah, you might be able to throw a wrench in it, but you ain't stopping from, what's gonna happen from what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I have a pretty set idea of the ending, and to kind of like work a little backwards from there. For like the campaign, I built a continent, and I think there's like 10 or 12 cities in it. I've written roughly a paragraph to 2 paragraphs for 7 or 8 of the 10 or 12 cities that exist, just to give it like background and context as to where it sits within, you know, that continent of the world, and just basic information. There's the city of Toln that rests inside of the mountain. What do you think's gonna fucking happen there? There's dwarves. Like,
yep.
You know, and I find it's a little bit easier to fall on those character tropes when you have groups or people that are new to playing D&D. Broader in the group. She is new to playing D&D, so she needs a little bit of help. And anybody knows, you know, a Lord of the Rings or, you know, a Harry Potter. They know wizards got towers, dwarves live in the mountains. It's easy for them to be more engaged or, like, kind of feel more ingrained in the world if what their perception of fantasy is matches what fantasy you're putting out in your campaign. So, like, right now, the arc that you guys are on in the tournament it's not necessarily filler, but it's meant to, like, keep you guys busy. Because you gotta keep busy. You can't always be on the heels of the big bad guy and trying to foil his plans and stuff like that. So, I'll have arcs planned out. This is a tournament. This is what you guys are probably going to do around here. And after the tournament, there's going to be another plot hook for you to follow. You might not follow it, but eventually what you choose or what you're doing is going to lead to the next step. So I guess it's a little bit railroady because I do have a story and I have like a plot in line, but my continent and my world is so small that you can't not be affected by what's happening in it. So that's also why I only made one continent. I'm not going to make a full-ass world for you to take a boat or an airship or whatever off to who knows where, because my bad guy's going to be over here like, I'm doing bad stuff, come and get me, and you're like, fuck you, I'm on an airship, bitch! And I'm like, nope, that ain't happening. I won't even give you the option to do that.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. And I wouldn't necessarily say that your campaign so far has been railroady, because you're not forcing us to do things. You're still leaving it pretty open-ended. Like, you've got choices. You can do whatever you want, but this is what's happening in the world.
For sure.
So, like, yeah, right now we're in a tournament. That's essentially the Hunger Games for a week. And then we get thrown into, I'm assuming, a Coliseum fight.
Yeah.
Or a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
If you make it that far.
If we make it that far, that's right. I still kind of hope my paladin dies, because I'd love to just try something else just for giggles. But we'll see.
Yeah.
He's very hard to kill.
Yeah, that's true. But session to session, I don't. So that's campaign. I guess I'll start with like a regular session now. So like a regular session, I plan very little. I have like, okay, this is what you guys did last session. I don't know, you might do this, you know, you might keep going, you might, like, say, fuck the tournament, and, like, just go off to wherever to do whatever you want to do. I don't know that, so that's why I don't have a whole bunch to plan.
Yeah.
But I will always have a list of NPC names. I'll always have, a sort of CR rating, like, based on what level the group is. Like, okay, if they run into something in the wild or in the city, or if another group comes at them, I have a rough idea. These, monsters from column A or B are what y'all will, be going up against. And that's pretty much it. Literally, everything else in the middle is on the fucking fly. Everything.
Yep, because players are unpredictable.
Yeah.
Oh no. Players you can always predict will fuck shit up.
Yeah,
that's true. It's just, how are they gonna fuck shit up?
Right.
But no, like, everything you guys do, every decision you guys make, I go with the flow, and I just keep going with whatever y'all are doing, and I make it up on the fly. That's why I don't have a lot of maps. That's why you guys fight in space a lot. So
all the time.
So we use Roll20, and one of the maps. Is it Sandstorm?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we sandstorm a lot in space, but one map is just a picture of a galaxy, and you guys can place yourself wherever. And when you have enemies, they fight, you fight, blah 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 blah.
Yep, we just need the grid.
Yeah.
And to know how far people away are, and that's it.
Yeah.
We don't need big old fancy this or that. I don't need to know that there's a rock over here in the corner. It's just, hey, here's a big old empty space. Kill.
Well, that would be really nice. If we were having like a full on like real, like, okay, we're all being serious. We're all in it on roleplay. We're all in it. We know what our characters do. Like, if everybody was putting in as much work as I was putting in, then absolutely I would do it. But I know that that's not the case.
No.
Yeah, we got 2 newbies in that one.
So
we're
just having fun.
We are, yeah, and we're not doing anything crazy in that one. Like, as players, we could mess with it even fucking worse. Like, I'm not a paladin anymore. I'm gonna be an oathbreaker, and we're just gonna go burn down this town because Aaliyah.
I mean, Aaliyah may still do that anyway. So
I know, but you have the paladin to bitch about it.
That's true.
I mean,
just bitch.
Aaliyah likes to purposely go, "Hey, paladin, watch this." Demons.
Yeah. Summon the demons in front of me every time. Like, evil!
What, in the last one, didn't you do like some kind of blood ritual to summon demons?
I mean,
it's the same thing every time, basically.
Like, I have to use fallen blood every time. So, like, anytime we kill people, I go, "Oh, hey, look, I'm just going to draw a couple vials of this." And then it's just like, hey, like, literally the last time, because we had to fight, like, Swedish elven supermodels. And I'm literally like, oh, these fuckers are pissing me the hell off. Hey, paladin, watch this, but you're probably going to be okay with this. And just literally, like, slammed the jar into my hands and went,
So we just tried to have some fun, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, they needed to die. Even the paladin thought so.
Oh my gosh. They were so funny.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean,
I did like 100 damage with a level 2-3 smite.
It was rough.
Oh yeah.
Did I send you guys that meme where it was like the goblin with 4 HP, the rogue the rogue playing distraction, and the paladin sneaking up on the 4 HP goblin about to smite the fucker? Like, Can you say beef stroganoff?
That's the paladin making an example out of the heathens that the goblins are.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I'll ask, like, do you think that I just make everything, like, does it feel cohesive?
Oh yeah.
Like, it feels like there's stuff, like I actually plan things. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it does seem like you're making it up on the fly, which is perfectly fine. But it is all one cohesive, like, session that connects to the next one and the next one. So it's not like it's, this convoluted fucking insanity.
Yeah.
It's an actual story that you've actually created on the fly with our dumbasses.
And I don't think I'm not trying to front. I'm not trying to be like, oh no, I do all this planning. I think everybody who plays with me knows that I'm like such a loosey-goosey DM.
Yeah.
Like, you just pull something up or you say something like, hold on, let's look at it. What does it say? Yeah, fucking, why not? Go ahead. Like,
yeah, for the most part, you just like, you know what? This is fun. Let's go.
yeah. Unless you're
a
monk
Monk
trying to
rogue.
sneak attack with your fists.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's something that's kind of game breaking or super OP, you're like, I don't think so.
Yeah. I tend to squash all of Drake's stuff unintentionally.
You really do.
You do. It's kind of fun.
Like, oh, hey, we're going to do a tournament that fights and kills? Okay. Or, I assumed it was kill. Like, let's do this. I'm going to be like a goblin that can revive the dead or animate dead. Oh, anytime anyone dies, they have spellcasters on the side that are like, boop, stabilize. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're not really dead.
It's WWE.
So...
Really should have fucking, like, pushed that one a little more. Like, my goblin's going to literally look at the spellcasters with a blade and go...
Just keep going. Just keep stabbing them. Are you
yeah,
going to keep healing?
Yeah,
Are you going to keep healing?
You either let this fucker die, or I just keep on stabbing. The rest of the party's getting their ass kicked. Don't care.
Yep,
Like,
not my problem.
I'm going to revive this fucker as a zombie.
Yep.
It's a cantrip, dude. I'll just keep doing it.
Until they get tired.
It's true. But no, that's kind of how like I said, I fall in the same line as Drake, where I have an ending. I know the big battle at the end, or I don't know how y'all are gonna get there. I might try to help you get there, but I know what's gonna happen at the end. And yeah, you're right, I don't really see too many DMs or people who world build and build games do it that way.
Yeah, no, I know a lot of them. A lot of the new ones, like I said, they're gonna build the entire thing out, the entire world out, try and railroad their players because they don't know any better, and yeah, they're gonna get real pissed off, real fast, and just blow up the campaign.
Yeah, I feel like the way that Rhea and I do is just, it's so much easier because it's like we have the ending, so anything you throw in us, short of like finding the BBEG early and killing them, or that is going to be really hard because we can still steer. You guys are steering the boat, but we're moving. Where you're going. Like, oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna go here. Oh, boop.
And then it's also, so it's a fun DM thing to do. Like, I clearly want you to go to this inn or this town. And you guys, as players, are like, nah, fuck you. I'm gonna go to this town. Well, you go talk to this barkeeper. Guess what? He was the barkeeper from the first town that I wanted you to go to, fuckers. Like, joke's on you. You get to think you do what you want, but, it helps. It'll keep the story going, but y'all aren't assholes, like, that big of assholes that you're just gonna completely be like, oh, look, a plot hook? Yoink! Completely other way. Like, you'll play the game. You played the game, I played the game.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Thanks for listening to Busy Adults. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and pretty much everywhere else on the internet. Make sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to wherever you listen to Busy Adults. That's BUSYADDULTS. Now, back to the show. Yeah. So Drake, tell me, you started that first campaign with Pathfinder for us, and then we started playing and then you TPK'd us, which, whatever. And then the second campaign that you started, I was a newbie.
That was Pathfinder.
Yeah, the second Pathfinder. I was a newbie. Obviously, the girls were newbies.
Yaka.
Yeah, Yaka was a newbie too. You had a little bit of experience. I don't know how much more than the rest of us.
I had one 5e campaign that lasted maybe 7 or 8 sessions.
Okay. So
very vanilla.
Yeah. How do you, how was it DMing for a bunch of new people? people new to the game and tabletops in general.
I mean, even with that first campaign, like, most of y'all were new. We had the Frenchman.
Well, that
Hermit.
that lasted, like, not very long. I don't consider
a
it...
campaign.
Yeah, I don't
like,
consider it a
session.
campaign. It was probably, like, 4 or 5 sessions, maybe?
Yeah, with them it was one session.
Yeah.
Well, the Frenchman was there a couple times, and then Kermit, I think, was there for 2 sessions. But we still did that campaign for, like, 6 months, because it showed up in my Facebook memories on, like, I think we started it in, like, January or February, because it's shown up in my memories already on Facebook that we did our first session.
Well, yeah, because Muffin was only a couple of months old.
Yeah.
And she's going to be 5 in August.
Yeah, so... it's insane.
Yeah.
But, I mean, with new people, with no one holding your hand, because that was basically what it was when we did the second session, was like, okay, you're all newbies, no one's really holding your hand. And I'm the DM who's been playing for decades. Like, it's nice, but it's also, like, just aggravating, because there's times where you're like... Because, like, players are going to fuck your story up. Plain and simple. Newbie players are going to extremely fuck your plans up. Because they're like, oh, hey, this is what's going to happen. Like, perfect example, the boat scene.
Yep, the boat.
Yeah,
Yep,
the boat.
the infamous boat.
Totally had it planned like, oh, hey, I'm going to give you guys a boat, and everyone's going to be like, fuck yeah, we can go wherever we want. There's no way we're getting rid of this boat. And you're all like, we don't want a boat. And I'm like, what?
We didn't want to
No,
keep track of it.
Absolutely not.
And I'm like, literally, I give you this mode of transportation. Like, I had it set up like, and I'm like, yeah, you guys, you just got to go to town and be like, hey, we need like a cook and a quartermaster and a captain that can or a driver. And y'all were like, nope, fuck this shit. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yep, we didn't want to keep track of it. We didn't want the upkeep on it. We're just like, nah, we're good.
Giving you guys a town, and because like I really was hoping like y'all would go in with that town and be like, well, yeah, and be like the way, because I've read a lot of different stuff, and they say if you're gonna give your players a town, the best thing to do is like run your sessions, and the last half hour or so of your session, like you go, okay, let's do the town, like upkeep, just like different stuff.
Yeah.
So it's super simple. Like, okay, we wind down. This is your session. Oh no, this is what's happened in town. Just simple stuff like that. You all were just like, nope, really don't want the town. And I was that's where I wanted the final fight to take place. And
in our town.
You all just were like, nope. And I'm like, oh my God. Or back to the boat scene. You guys got a boat. You got in a fight with another boat, and I really was kind of like, oh, maybe they'll use the couple of cannons and this, that, and the other. And y'all were like, nope, we're ramming into this other boat. And before, you could even be like, okay, guys, we're going to try to either let them come to us or we're going to go to them as a group. And fucking Monkey's wife just went full-blown Leroy Jenkins against 4 fucking ogres.
With a sword that catches on fire when she gets hit by fire.
And they literally just, pretty much
slaughtered her
right then and there.
I mean, yeah, I was trying to think of something really disturbing, like basically think of like, oh hey, search any like gangbang hentai type shit. That's literally what happened.
Guys, that's why his campaign is dark, because he has a disturbed ass mind.
Well, I mean, you guys were like level like 4 or 5.
4, yeah, it wasn't much.
And she just like, bah! And just like jumps in there, and we're all just like, holy fuck, that just happened.
Yeah, the cleric didn't even have Revivify yet, so...
Yes. One of the boats was on... Yeah,
our boat was on fire. So we're not saving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just happened to be her turn first at that point, and she's like, well, boat's on fire, guys, I'm hopping across. And then, she died, because there was like 5 enemies on that side.
Yeah. It was rough.
And they all, like, went... Like, it was like, Jenny's character, ogres, rest of the party.
Yeah.
And that's where the newbies, don't know, like, oh, I'm just going to delay an action and wait. And then, like, oh, we're all ready to go. Boop, boop. She's just like, okay, I'm going. And she's being like, what just happened? And
Okay,
then got,
bye.
like, super butthurt that, she died. And I'm just like, what did you think happened? My character, I rolled, like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
you could have the best fucking character ever. When you're still that low level and you're going against those type of monsters, that number, you're going to get hurt, if not die.
Yep. Yeah, and she is not a gamer by any means.
Yeah.
So she doesn't know not to do certain things.
Yeah.
She's just like, I'm going to go hit. So.
Yeah, you need to have a little bit of, like, a video game mentality. Or, a little bit of a video game history just to, like, okay, strategize.
Yeah, which she's not good at.
Yeah.
Her and my wife are the Murderhobos.
Yes.
Yep.
They hit things.
They're the most...
That's all they do.
They hit things violently. Like, you want to talk about fucked up?
Yep. Yeah, I will never give her a spellcaster. No.
She started off as a spellcaster and got pissed with it. Like,
yeah, I know.
3 sessions in, like, I can't do anything. Well, you're, like, level 2. You're not supposed to be able to do a whole lot.
Yeah.
Well, this is stupid. Well, I don't want to play this character anymore. Like, okay.
Yep. So, yeah, just straight hit stuff. Barbarian, that works for her pretty well. Fighter works okay. She did a monk for our Christmas one-shot. That seemed okay, but she forgot a lot of, like the key abilities. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just roll it back to the fighter again, because she forgets about the rage sometimes.
Yeah, I think fighter's probably the best option. And then champion fighter, so then get out like 1 million attacks. Yeah,
and that's just simple. It's just streamlined right there. Just keep hitting people and you're done.
Yep. I DM'd for a couple of my friends from high school for a little bit. We played for maybe about 3 months, so it wasn't a lot. We ended up like kind of the campaign died off because everybody got busy, and we're all actually from different states, so yeah, it was difficult. But they were all 100% brand new. They barely had an idea as to what D&D or tabletop, games are. So the way that I kind of had them play, it was more of like a choose your own adventure / pick from these 4 options type of thing. They needed a lot of guidance because they're just standing there, you give them a sword, you say, okay, you can do whatever you want. Then they just look at you slack-jawed like, what do you mean whatever I want? Like, whatever the fuck you want to do, fucking do it.
Yeah, it's choice paralysis at that point.
Yes.
Like, you have to give them options in order for them to think it through.
Yeah. So a lot of our sessions were me leading them and, okay, this is where you are. You have a bunch of options. Here is 1 through 6. These are the different things that are available to you. Oh, you want to know some more about? Okay, yep, absolutely. And then filling them in this way. And then when it came time for combat, it was very slow going because it was like a lesson between every combat and between like every round, Okay, you have a monster right in front of you and you have one to the left. We didn't even use Roll20 because it was all theater of the mind. Yeah. So even more so then I would be like, okay, so here are your options. You can attack guy number 1, guy number 2. If you want to not attack, you can hold your position, just kind of teaching them what to do. And eventually they caught on and, they're having more fun. They were actually doing like role-playing stuff because they weren't being a typical asshole player, like fucking everything up just to fuck it up. They were just exploring and learning what was possible. So I had a lot of fun DMing them because they had no preconceptions and just had the wildest fucking ideas. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I feel like those are always cool to do, especially when you don't have that asshole player who doesn't know what he's doing, but at the same time he's just like, well, I can kill anything I want with no repercussions. I'm going. Yeah, those are never fun. I don't care if they're new or experienced or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
they're not.
Yeah. You always get the edgelords who, no matter, like, I've played with people like that before who, I've played for blah, blah, blah so many years and are literally just fucking murder hobos. And it's like, well, I have this crazy backstory and blah, blah. And you're like, okay, cool. And they turn out to be murdered. This is like another variation of a murder hobo.
Yep.
Like, my family was murdered in cold blood, and I'm now a peacekeeper, this, that, and the other, and don't want to resort to violence. They're like, oh, cool, you're going to play this, that, and the other. No, I'm playing a spellcaster who hurls fireballs left and right. And it's just like, well, I thought you didn't want to resort to violence. No, I don't want to resort to fighting. If I play a sneaky spellcaster who can sneak up on people and then throw a fireball before they know what happens, there's no fight. And be like, oh my god, really?
Still a hell of a lot of murder.
Yeah, you're still playing a murder hobo. You're just you're not giving them the chance to respond.
It's a murder hobo with extra steps.
Basically.
Long range murder hobo.
Yeah, long range murder hobo on a grand scale.
Oh, it's not the Skyrim stealth archer murder hobo?
Ooh.
No, this one is the stealthy fireball flinger who, dee, 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 dee. Oh, look at that group of, 50 people. Yeah, there's 30 kids. Fireball. Like, what the fuck?
That was my first Skyrim character, honestly. Just, I'm going to be a stealthy mage that just throws fireballs at everything. And sure enough, it works once you get up there.
Well, I mean, that's fine. It's a video game. You're playing by yourself. It doesn't quite work when you're playing with other people at the table who they're playing a full separate game than you are playing.
At that point, yeah. Unless you're playing an all evil campaign, but even then, it's a little rough.
I'd like to get the logistics out to be able to play an all evil campaign. Just maybe 2 or 3 sessions, all evil.
Pretty much all they usually last because people usually fuck shit up.
Okay, so there was one campaign idea I saw where you do an all evil campaign for a few sessions. Okay? You do it. Then you start a new campaign. And all of the actions that they did in their evil campaign now reflect in this new one. You're starting after what they did in the evil campaign.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, yeah, you're evil. You get to destroy that town. You get to kill all these innocents, all this shit. But guess what? Now you got to deal with that as the good guys.
Yep.
So
I think I've seen that where it's.
I think you'd have. Yeah.
You run 5 or 6 sessions. You let them do their thing, and then you come back as the people who've been oppressed, almost kind of like a tyranny.
Yeah.
A video game. They won. This is what they did, and now you can either be the resistance or, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's definitely another good variation of it. So I mean, it'll work, especially if you have a group that's always murder hoboing. Okay, give them a chance to be murder hobo. Now, show them exactly what happens when you murder hobo.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, I think it's fantastic.
I think it's a good alternative.
It is. And I would like to do it at some point just to be like, yeah, you know what? I blew up that town. Now I gotta, now I gotta rebuild it. Damn. As a level 1, just rando.
So, Monkey, how do you feel listening to all this? Do you think you'd ever dip your toe in the pool of the Forever DM?
Hell no. No. I am a player. I might be a creative. I mean, that's what I do for a living is create things, but no, I just want to play a world, play a game, be immersed in a story. I don't want to create it. Yeah, I've got a lot of ideas in my head for stuff, and I could probably cobble something together, but it's just not something I feel like I want to do at this point. Maybe a couple of years down the road when the kids get older and, maybe they get interested in it, I'll DM for them. Fine. But it's just not in my wheelhouse right now. No. I've got too much going on.
Yeah, that's true. This episode is sponsored by Busted Bones Gaming.
Oh, God.
Follow Busted Bones Gaming on Facebook Gaming? I don't know. How do you do that?
So really, you can just do it on Facebook. Okay. That's fine. Facebook Gaming is like their separate platform that's also intertwined into Facebook. It's a whole effing thing. Like Microsoft had Mixer. That shut down, and they're like, hey, guys, sorry about Mixer, but you can go over here to Facebook. And Facebook's like, yeah, give us all those people. And they made Facebook Gaming as a platform for that. So it's all intertwined. They're still working out all the bullshit and the kinks and the yada yada. But it's not super saturated like Twitch is. So I hopped on the bandwagon of Facebook.
Yeah, Busted Bone Gaming, per your background, their live stream schedule, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, with a couple of, guests sprinkled in there every once in a while.
Yeah, like the Ark Survival stream. I've got you two on there for the Busy Adults crew. Yep. So that's usually Mondays, or if we have like a special stream day. So yeah. Yeah, we'll usually do that. Besides that, got Gears 5 if you guys like shotguns and body parts. That's essentially what happens every Wednesday night. And then we started a spooky stream for Phasmophobia if you like budget Walmart ghost hunters. Yeah.
Oh, I saw there's another one you might want to look into.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Devour. It's like $4.
Devour. I'm going to look at it right now if my phone's not dead. Devour.
So, but there's nothing that I could say to convince you to DM, right? There's no...
No.
Not even a chance?
It's not going to happen.
Not even a little bit?
No, not even a little bit. No, because, again, I don't have the time. Two,
That's
it's
true.
not something I'm interested in. I create all day.
Fair.
Every day.
Fair.
So if I can just, be in somebody else's world to relax or just murder things or just to RP, I'm cool with it. But to spend more time creating things when I don't have that time, I don't know. Oh yeah, I saw this. It's actually on sale for $2.50 right now. Yeah, the Devour game. Co-op horror survival game, 1 to 4 players. Stop a possessed cult leader before she drags you to hell. Run, scream, hide, don't get caught.
Have fun with that, you guys.
Yeah, you're a chicken.
I'm a chicken.
Oh, God,
I'm a big
terrifying.
old I'm a fucking Kentucky Fried Chicken. I cannot do spooky stuff. I can't.
There's a screenshot here of her, of the witch coming at you in a dining room, and yeah, she is terrifying.
That's, nope.
Don't. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Nope.
Oh,
Stop.
Okay. I'm gonna go back. Oh wow! Why does turning it sideways make it smaller?
Oh, good. I can't see it. Thank.
Damn
praise,
you, camera.
Praise Melora. I cannot see that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's two. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's $4.25. It's 75 cents off. Such a deal.
So, I guess I can only have one other question, and that's for Drake.
So.
You finally, well, I mean, we've been playing together for a while now, but you have an opportunity to be a player. Did you try to sow the seeds of DM into any of us and hope that it would finally catch? Don't show that to me. You are a menace to society.
That's just the cover art.
You're a menace.
The third from the end picture. That's the one I wanted to show. With you'll see your screen.
I'm just gonna go ahead and turn off your camera. Stop video. No, but were you? How you were okay, Ray? You've been playing tabletops for a year. You want a DM? All right, let's see how this turns out.
Well, yeah, even before we finished the last campaign, you were like, hey, I want to do, I think you bounced off, hey, I want to do, a DM thing, but I'm, worried. I'm like, well, do a one-shot. So, like, you did a one-shot, and I was able to play, and that was fun. It is nice to get a break. I know you want to get back to player, and that's kind of why I'm like, yeah, I need to get Gekkeram back up and running, just for the simple fact of it is what it is, and I like...
Well, I'm sure you have the itch, too. Like...
Yeah, like, Gekkeram is that kind of baby of mine that, like, I actually want to do well. Like, the last session, I was kind of like, let's do this, and the last campaign, and then towards the end, when shit would always come up, it was kind of like, okay, this is getting annoying, and, like, even I was checked out. Gekkeram, even though it's been, 7-8 months since we've played, it's still there. Like, it's always there, and I go back to it every couple weeks and just look and refresh my mind and bounce some more stuff off and add some more stuff here and there. So, like, I'm ready. I have that itch. I know some people are always like, oh, forever DM. If I ever got to play, I'd never DM again. If you're a DM and you enjoy it, you're going to get that itch. And, like I've said in other stuff before, if you have all these character ideas and stuff, DMing is awesome because you get to play all of them.
And all the bad guys, too.
Right, you get to play everything. So you get to add, like, oh, hey, I want to do this really cool idea for a character. Okay, level it up, make it an encounter with the party, and see how that would actually work.
That's kind of how this tournament came to be. It was like, oh my gosh, I have so many ideas for, like, some fun characters. And essentially I took the fun character, split it up into 4 to 5 different people, and, like, the group is now a character that y'all are fighting up against.
Yeah, and they're annoying as shit sometimes.
I kind of want to make them even more annoying as time goes on. But it's only... So, I was definitely inspired for this most recent encounter because I've been listening to NADPOD again. It's not another D&D podcast, and it's DM'd by Brian Murphy and a bunch of, like, other College Humor people. R.I.P. College Humor. And it's almost exclusively, like, a comedy D&D podcast, because it's only audio. There's no video or anything like that. But they're really funny, and there's a lot of, like, back and forths between the enemies that they're fighting, especially if it's, like, little, goblins or just one-off people that you can kill in 2 or 3 hits. And there's just, like, back and forth, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it, because I want to get weird.
She wants to get weird, guys.
Let's get weird. I'm a lot more weird than Drake. Drake is a lot more, like, dark and evil. I'm just straight up weird.
Yeah, you're weird. He's disturbed. Real in the head.
Gotta let my demons out to play some way.
Yeah, and it's just with all your friends.
Yeah. Who you love.
But, no, I mean, it's
good. We have fun with it. As a player, I love all the campaigns, all the crazy, weird stories, and just the shit we get into. Like, I mean, Yaka's character, Yorl, I mean, I know he's doing a bunch of crazy shit in the back that we have no idea what it is. So I'm interested to see what all that kind of culminates into. Mm-hmm. And it's fun. It is cool. I want Gekkeram to come back because I want to see where this goes. I want to see where my Kenku kind of, like, ends up in the story, or if he just full on gets roasted by Yorl eventually.
Yeah, I have a feeling Yaka's character in that is going to learn Fireball, and the payback's going to be bad.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, I have never shot him on purpose.
Nope.
It's always been accidental.
Nope.
Always
those natural ones.
Oh my god, so many natural ones. Yep. But yeah, I totally expect it, which is why I have like 3 backups. Because I'm like, I'm probably gonna die by Yaka's character. So
He's going to learn Fireball, and you're going to get surrounded by enemies once, and he's going to be like, oh, darn! Poof! Payback's a bitch!
Oh no, I tripped.
I'm curious, what level do
3
wizards learn Fireball?
4, 5.
5th
level? Okay.
I think it's level 5.
I might, at that point, be able to blink away. I might. I can't remember. I have the rogue archetype, our subclass. I think it's the planeswalker thing.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, I get to blink away at a certain point. I just can't remember if it's 6th level or if it's 10th level.
I know. I can't wait to Bard hard.
Bard lock.
Yes. I love the idea of a Bard lock.
That's right. And if you guys haven't listened to the episode by now, we just released a new one the same day that you're listening to right now.
Yeah.
Which is this one.
Episode 8. Everyone gets a class.
Yep, that's the one. So.
Yep, to date the recording. So yeah, and then this is episode 8 is Everyone Gets a Class. It's about multi-classing if you guys haven't listened to it. So go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
I don't remember what episode 9's about, and this is number 10.
I'm editing episode 9 right now, and I don't remember what it's about. Like, I'm
yeah.
editing it, like, as soon as we hang up on this call.
It's fantastic.
What? No, okay, no, it was our Twitter. It was our Twitter one.
Oh, that's
where
right,
we talked about
the
random media, pop culture, one-shot / what you want to do.
Characters and things. Yep.
That's
so go listen to that one too, because that's out eventually.
Well, by the time you're listening to this, it'll definitely be out.
That's right.
Because time?
Yeah, time's an illusion, guys. Right?
It's a man-made construct.
Oh, man.
But I do believe that is this week's episode.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody, and follow us on all the socials and stuff. Somebody's gonna list it off after the episode. You'll hear it. Yada yada. And thank you for listening. And I guess have a great whatever.
Have a great 2 weeks, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks.
Hooray!
See you. Busy Addults.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Busy Adults. You can find us on your favorite podcast platforms, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and a whole bunch of other ones. Visit our website at www.busyaddults.com. That's BUSYADDULTS. Make sure to follow us on social media, and then like, rate, review, and comment on all of our stuff. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks. Bye.